In some previous videos, I've discussed some different strategies that can be used with options. I've discussed bull spreads, bear spreads, butterfly spreads, and strangles. And in this video, I want to talk about the condor. Now, a condor is a less risky version of the strangle. And you're going to use 4 different striking prices. Now, you want to use a long condor when you think the price of the stock will likely move within a range of 2 prices. And you use a short condor when you think the price of the stock will move outside the range of those 2 prices. So, if you look at this picture here, the long condor involves these 4 different strike prices, A, B, I didn't draw it down here, C, and D. And what you want to do is you want to buy the outside strike prices and write the middle ones. And you want the stock price to remain between B and C. And it's kind of interesting if you look at this strategy here. There's a couple of things you can note. It looks very similar to a butterfly spread, except kind of that top triangle is cut off. In a butterfly spread, it peaks at a particular point. You use 3 striking prices and comes down, so this sort of top triangle is cut off, so you have a range here you're looking for. It also looks like if you go from here to here to here, so from here to A to B to C, it looks like a bull spread. And if you go from here to D, C, and then to B, it looks like a bear spread. So it's a rather interesting looking picture. Now, a short condor is the mirror image of the long condor. And this is going to involve writing the outside strike prices and buying the middle ones. And here you want the stock price to move sharply in either direction. So you want the price to be either below A or above D. And if you look at this again, from here to A to B to C, this looks like a bear spread, and from B to C to D, and then extending out here, it looks like a bull spread. So let's take a look at a numerical example. So for this long condor example, let's assume you buy a 75 call at a price of 10. You write an 80 call at a price of 7. You write an 85 put at a price of 8.5. You buy a 90 put at a price of 12 1/8. So if you do the math here, you're going to be buying these 2. So that's going to cost you 22 1/8, but you're going to receive 7 for the 80 call that you write, and you're going to receive 8.5 for the 85 put that you write. So your net cost is 1 5/8. So if we go back to the picture here, you can see that we've got these 4 different strike prices, 75, 80, 85, and 90. The cost we said was 1 5/8. So as long as the price is below 75, you simply lose the net cost. At a price of 1 5/8, for every dollar it goes above 75, you make $1, and the break even here is going to be 76 5/8, right? You have to go up enough to cover the cost here. It's going to continue to go up until you reach the price of 80. That's when the call that you wrote kicks in, and that's going to be at a price of 80 and a maximum price of 3 3/8. And it's going to remain flat here until the 85 call, or I'm sorry, the 85 put that you wrote, and then the price is going, or the profit is going to turn down. Break even here is going to be 88 3/8, and it's going to continue going down until you hit that last 90 exercise price where you bought the put, and then that's going to flatten out. So then you'll be at 1 5/8. So you can see here that if you're into a long condor position, you're hoping the price will be someplace between 80 and 85, and then you'll make 3 3/8 for each option you own. Okay, or if this were a standard size contract, just multiply that by 100. For a short Condor, let's just do the opposite. We're going to write the 75 call at 10. We're going to buy the 80 call at 7. We're going to buy the 85 put at 8.5. And we're going to write the 90 put at 12 1/8. So these two outside prices are going to be negative because you wrote them. And then these two inside prices are going to be positive because you buy them. And it turns out that your net is going to be 1 5/8. And it should be, because in the other example, in the long Condor example, and we used the same numbers, the cost was 1 5/8. So in this case, the net profit should be 1 5/8. So graphically, it looks like this. Again, mirror image, maximum profit 1 5/8. So if the price remains below 75, then you make 1 5/8 because none of the options kick in. If the price rises above 1 5/8, above 75, then what happens? You're going to lose $1 for every dollar it goes above 75, and break even is going to be 76 5/8. That is, that the price has to rise enough to offset the gain here of 1 5/8. You're going to continue to lose money until you hit 80, where your put option kicks in, and then it's going to remain flat until the next option kicks in. That will turn it back up. And again, here the break-even point is 88 3/8, and it finally flattens out at 90, where you have that final option position. So again, this is the case where you're looking for the price to go either above 90 or below 75, in which case you will make money. You'll make 1 5/8. If the stock price remains between 80 and 85, then you're going to lose 3 3/8. So here we have the case where this part looks like a bear spread, and this part here looks like a bull spread. And this bear spread was created by using call options. Normally I like to give the example of creating a bear spread using put options because it's a little easier graphically or intuitively to sort of understand. But here you start off with, this part is the short call, or writing the call part, and then you bought back the call, which flattens out this part here. Okay, keeps you from losing any more money. And then here you have what looks like a bull spread created with put options. So here you've written a put option, in which case it turns up, and then it flattens out here where you buy back the put option, so that as the price goes above 90, it doesn't keep going up. And again, very similar to the strangle, except remember that the strangle would have these just going up because there's no option here that flattens this part out. There's none here that flattens this out. So it's going to be a more expensive strategy with more upside potential if the stock price makes a big move up or down. And if we go back to the previous one here, this is going to be the case where if you had a strangle, you would have no option here. You would just use these two options at 80 and 85, and this would go down, so your downside would be much more significant. And here your downside would be unlimited because, again, you have no option here to flatten this out. So this is another strategy that can be used, and there are really essentially an infinite number of different strategies that can be employed using options. By buying one option and writing an option with a different exercise price, you can create all different kinds of payoff pictures and payoff strategies.